The Bible. It's a collection of ancient texts, prophecies, poetry, history, and letters. It holds stories of kings, shepherds, wars, and miracles. But for many, the Bible remains an unopened mystery. Here at The Bible Explained, we're not just reading verses, we're exploring the cultural bedrock and the dramatic narrative woven through its 66 books. Hit that subscribe button and let the journey begin.
All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the most foundational texts in history, the first chapter of Genesis. We're going to look at it as more than just a list of events. We'll see it as a masterfully designed story that's all about solving a huge cosmic problem. So, let's get into the blueprint. So, this opening line, it's epic, it's familiar. It's basically the headline for everything that's about to happen. It sets up God's absolute power. But here's the thing. The real drama, the tension in the story, it kicks off in the very next line. Yeah, so right after that big, powerful statement, the author hits us with a problem. The world that was just created isn't finished yet. It's not perfect. This sets the stage for a challenge that the rest of the chapter is built very carefully to solve. Now, this isn't just a description of what the place looked like. It's more like a diagnosis. You see, for the ancient authors, images like a dark, chaotic ocean or a wild, empty land, that was their way of describing non-existence. It's not about nothingness, but more like a world with no structure, no purpose, no life. And you know, the ancient Hebrew has this amazing catchy phrase for it, tohu vavohu. It basically means unordered and uninhabited. And this two-part problem, that the world is formless and it's empty, that's the core issue that God's work over the next 6 days is going to fix, step by step. So that's the big question, right? How does God fix a world that's formless and empty? Well, what's so cool is that the story doesn't just throw a bunch of random miracles at us. Instead, it lays out this incredibly elegant and structured plan, showing God as this master architect. And this is where you can really see the genius of how this story is put together. The 6 days aren't just a simple to-do list, they're laid out in 2 parallel sets of 3. On days 1, 2, and 3, God solves that formless problem by creating and ordering 3 separate realms. Then, on days 4, 5, and 6, he solves the empty problem by filling those exact same realms. All right, let's dive into the first half of this blueprint, forming the realms days 1 through 3. So this part is all about tackling that tohu, the formlessness. And God's main tool here? It's all about separation. So on day 1, you have light getting separated from darkness. That sets up the whole rhythm of time. Then on day 2, those big chaotic waters get split apart, creating the domain of the sky up above and the seas down below. And finally, on day 3, the land pops up out of the sea, creating a third space. Just like that, the formless chaos is now a structured cosmos. Okay, let's jump to the second half. Filling the realms, days 4 to 6. So the structure is in place, right? The world is ordered, but it's still, well, it's empty. It's not tohu anymore, but it's definitely still vohu. So now God starts filling these brand new spaces. Day 4 fills that realm of time from day 1 with the sun, moon, and stars. Perfect fit. Day 5 fills the seas and skies from day 2 with fish and birds. And day 6, it fills the land from day 3 with animals and, of course, the grand finale, humans. And this slide just lays it out so perfectly. You can see that parallel logic in action, right? The sky and seas that were formed back on day 2, they get filled perfectly, like a hand in a glove, by the birds and fish on day 5. It's this beautiful, symmetrical solution. The problem is solved. No more formless and empty. Okay, so the whole story is building up to this, the climax, humanity's royal mandate. Everything's been leading to day 6. After the land animals show up, the narrative kind of takes a breath. The tone shifts, and it puts a huge spotlight on the creation of humankind, making it clear this is the absolute peak of God's work. And you can see this shift in a few really key ways. For the very first time, there's this divine conversation, let us make mankind. Then, humanity gets this unique status. They're made in the image of God. They're also given this royal job description, a divine mandate to fill, subdue, and rule. And then only after humans are on the scene does God look at everything and say, okay, now it's very good. So what does it even mean to be made in God's image? This is so crucial. It's not about having a physical body that looks like God. It's about our function, our purpose. It means humans are designed to be God's representatives on earth, to act as his partners in wisely ruling and caring for his creation. All right, so we've walked through this beautiful structure, but now we have to tackle the big one, the question everybody asks about this chapter. What exactly is a day in Genesis 1? Okay, the whole debate really boils down to this one Hebrew word, yom. Now, a lot of the time, yeah, it means a regular 24-hour day. But, and this is a big but, the word is also flexible. It can mean a longer stretch of time, kind of like when we say, back in my grandfather's day. And because of that, you have sincere believers who all take the Bible seriously, coming to different conclusions. So you've got a few main camps. There's the view that these were 6 literal, back-to-back 24-hour days. Then there's the day-age view, which sees each day as a really long geological era, maybe lining up with scientific timelines. And a third major view is that the whole 6-day structure is a brilliant literary framework, a way to tell the theological story of creation, not necessarily a scientific play-by-play. And this quote from Dr. Vern Poythress really gets to the heart of it. He says, God addresses us, you might say, at an ordinary human level, not in terms of explaining quantum mechanics. He's interested in this personal relationship. And that really points to what the text is trying to do. Maybe it's not trying to be a 21st century science textbook. Maybe it's more about building a relationship with its audience and with us. But listen, the story isn't over at the end of day 6, not by a long shot. In fact, all that work was just the setup for the true climax, the whole point of the week, the 7th day. So when it says God rested, it's not because he was tired. That's not the idea at all. In the Bible, this kind of rest is what a king does after he's built his kingdom and brought peace. He takes his throne. So the 7th day is about God finishing his work of ordering and filling, and then coming to live and rule in his creation, which is now basically a perfect cosmic temple, where he can be with his people. And to really hammer this point home, the author has woven the number 7, a huge symbol of completion and perfection, all through this chapter. I mean, the pattern is just amazing when you see it. You've got the 7 days of the week, obviously. The phrase, "it was good," shows up 7 times. The very first verse in Hebrew, 7 words. The second verse, 14 words. That's 2 times 7. And the big finish, the description of the 7th day, is built in phrases of 7. It's everywhere. It all points to the Sabbath, the 7th day, being the ultimate goal. So this leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Is Genesis 1 trying to be a scientific report on how all the material stuff got here? Or is it a timeless, profound statement about cosmic purpose? Maybe its main goal isn't to answer our 21st century scientific questions about the how, but to answer those deeper, universal questions we all have about the who and the why. It gives us this incredible vision of a world made with purpose, and it tells us about our unique place in it all.
The Bible isn't just a history book. It's a living, challenging text. As you reflect on what we covered today regarding this topic, consider how this new context changes your reading of the verses. If you appreciated this breakdown, sharing it with just one friend who struggles with understanding the Bible is the best way you can support the channel. Subscribe for more, click here for your next explanation, and never stop seeking clarity. Until next time.